Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Silver the Hedgehog here, and I am back for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games DS version, and welcome to day 10 of Paris Olympics 2024. So yesterday, we did somehow already went into the 4th circuit in advanced class. That's what appears to be satellite circuit. And oh no, for our results of satellite circuit, we did this particular circuit flawlessly. Especially no issues there. And oh no, we did somehow manage able to dominate every single event. Especially concerning about the fact that we did selected Peach on that particular circuit. So today, for this video, is about the fact that we're going to be continuing things on and move on to the next circuit, and it's also the final circuit on advanced class. So here we have Sunlight Circuit. So we have 400-meter hurdles, triple jump, dream table tennis, and finally dream fencing. So because of that though, this might actually be the 4th dream event we can able to stumble across into on Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games DS version, basically. So either way, and truth be told about the fact that once we're able to actually unlocking some more circuits, I believe for the most part, the last batch of events we can possibly try to unlock, which are all basically dream events, basically. So unlike the Wii version, sometimes we do need to unlock the forms of some dream events and some traditional Olympic events. So either way though, so let's get to it with the forms of Sunlight Circuit. And as you can tell, the character choice this time around I did somehow choose is Blaze the Cat. So as a result, I was expected to try to able to actually make myself playable on the forms of this game, but it wasn't until in Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games that obviously though myself, in some cases Silver the Hedgehog, will become playable as well as the future games in the series. So either way, let's get to it with the forms of 400-meter hurdles. So to be expected, we need to able to once again try to jump over for those hurdles, and keep that in mind though, we also have to watch our stamina. So either way though, for the most part it's not too bad and not too shabby at the same time, because kind of thinking about it though, when I did somehow manage able to look back on the Wii version for some time, I do realize about the fact that the difficulty on 400-meter hurdles on the Wii version is a tad bit more difficult in my opinion, because obviously that was about the fact that we have to rely on the forms of not only for stamina, but also you have to time your jumps correctly until you're able to actually jump over for every single hurdles. Whilst on the DS version is actually not too shabby right here, especially concerning for the fact that if you do have yourselves a good starting dash at one point, then obviously though is about the fact that you can able to actually dominate that particular event no problem. So anyway, a few things I want to talk about is about the fact that, well, today's date of course there is the 4th of August today, in some cases in 2024 today, and I believe, fundamentally speaking though, we've only got about 1 week left until basically we're about to be almost getting closer towards the end of the Paris Olympics 2024. And straight to the point about the fact that until next week, it will be closing ceremony. So because of that though, man, time flies, you know? Especially concerning for the fact that, well, obviously though, we still at the beginning of August to be expected at this point. So anyway, so on the subject for this matter though, there are a few interesting news I would like to discuss upon, and that's what appears to be about the fact that it seems out of nowhere that basically though is about the fact that Funko Vision has managed to decide to delay not only one version but 2 versions of the game. So as a result, it delays both the PlayStation 4 version and the Nintendo Switch versions. So I honestly have no idea why they've come for that particular decision, especially concerning for the fact that the last time I actually heard about the game was back in during the forms of since in June 18th in 2024, mainly because of the most recent Nintendo Direct, and we still have no idea when's it going to be up next. For the sake of the forms of Nintendo Directs to come, because I know for a fact that traditionally though, we always attempt able to also have another one of those Nintendo Directs during the forms of sometime in during the forms of September, but because of how the fact that we actually got ourselves the last batch of Nintendo Switch games up to this point, so we have no idea if Nintendo is still continue supporting the regular Nintendo Switch or something like that, and so God knows if they decide able to actually move on to the next Nintendo system him or something. So either way though, again, it's a bit difficult to tell at this point, so either way. As far as the forms of the PlayStation 4 version, as well as the digital version of the Nintendo Switch version specifically, for Funko Vision, that I think it's going to be releasing at some point until November 15th. I'm pretty sure that's where it's at. Whilst unlike the forms of how it does it on other systems, ranging from PlayStation 5 as well as Xbox Series X/S, and even PC Steam, that those versions are still about to be releasing on September 13th. So as to be expected, we've only got roughly about 1 month left until that particular game will be releasing on specifically 3 versions, to be more specifically. So anyways though, and the next thing I want to point out, and that's what appears to be about the fact that out of nowhere, we actually got ourselves some good stuff here and there. But also, unfortunately though, we've actually come across into a bad news recently. Well, let's get to the good stuff first. In addition about the fact that we've already mentioned about the fact that we actually got ourselves a whole bunch of announcements in regards to the forms of Marvel Studios as far as the film company as far as I'm concerned, that obviously though, like I said before, that we're about to be receiving Captain America Brave New World, in addition to the Fantastic Four for First Steps, as well as the forms of Thunderbolts, as well as the forms of Blade, and in addition to that, Avengers Doomsday, as well as Secret Wars. But there's also 3 other aspects I totally forgot to mention about in regards to the forms of another films has been listed for the sake of the forms of the upcoming Marvel Studios movies during the forms of sometime in the future, ranging from the 4th installment of the Spider-Man movie, which we have no idea what the title of the film is going to be called for the actual subtitle for it. In addition to that, there's apparently it's going to be a sequel to Shang-Chi, which obviously though the first film did came out during the films of in 2021, so that was during the films of in a lockdown or something like that. So, and finally there was actually by the films of Armor Wars, so I have nothing else to say about that film honestly, although I do know for the fact that it hasn't been confirmed, the actual release date for those films just yet though, but hopefully they will do at some point, possibly specifically until when it gets to the point until probably 2026 or something, or maybe during the films within 2028 if possible. But then again, time will tell, especially considering for the fact that there's a lot of film projects it needs to be doing next, specifically when it comes to the films in the Marvel Studios department. So anyway though, also another thing, fun fact actually, and that's what appears to be about the fact that recently, that Deadpool and Wolverine has somehow made it to the top 10 highest grossing films in 2024 so far. Although as far as I'm aware, currently they're now on to 8th place, although I may be wrong, because obviously that was about the fact that I will try to able to actually bring up the actual official update in regards to the forms of the actual box office highest grossing film records for the likes of certain films, whilst meanwhile for the sake of the forms of Despicable Me 4 and Inside Out 2, it looks like about the fact that Despicable Me 4 is currently on to 3rd place right now, and still Inside Out 2 is still on top, which is obviously a good thing, especially concerning for the fact that we still have no idea when does the DVD physical release, not just Inside Out 2, but also Deadpool and Wolverine is about to be releasing. My guess is about the fact that once they stop doing the forms of the actual increasing the box office department, maybe there's a chance that we might able to actually see the DVD release updates or something like that. But we shall see what happens, mainly during the forms of sometime in September, because I'm not exactly entirely sure if that's the case, but somebody did say about the fact that maybe it's a possibility that we might able to actually see Inside Out 2 on Disney Plus at some point on the 15th of September, if possible. Well, it's a bit difficult to judge at this point, especially concerning for the fact that, unfortunately though, the video game voice actors is currently on strike. And the reason being for this is because of artificial intelligence. So because of that though, yeah, it's a bit of a bummer, especially concerning for the fact that I've noticing this since in about a couple of days ago actually. So as a result, yeah, it is true that the video game actors are going on strike over the forms of that particular AI. So yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, especially concerning for the fact that my biggest fear for this is about the fact that if that's going to affect on the forms of Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, well, usually, relatively speaking, I was about the fact that we still only got about a couple of weeks for now for the actual game's release of Sonic Cross Shadow Generations up to this point. But either way, though, it's so frightening, you know, especially considering for the fact that they, well, the last time we actually heard about these strikes before, for certain actors anyway, was back in about a year ago, after the releases of the films of some couple of films, potentially, ranging from Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, alongside with the films of others as well, because as far as I'm aware, it's about the fact that it's kind of stressful back in during the films have been last year, because we have no idea when does these films were about to be releasing during the whole process of the films the actors and writers strike back in last year, but it seems to be more specifically, it's I get the strong sense of feeling that 2024 is going to be 2023 all over again when it comes to the films of the actual strikes that's been going on, except the fact that it doesn't say films or TV series or anything else like that, so it's now going to be video games this time, because like I said before, thanks to the films of the AI, or in some cases artificial intelligence. So yeah, that's not a good sign. So here we go on to the final event on Sunlight Circuit, and that's what appears to be Dream Fencing, where the controls are basically exactly the same, except the fact that you can now pull off a special move, and by doing so, you have to swipe the touchscreen downwards, and that way you can able to actually potentially try to unleash your special move. So, and just like the forms of how it does it on Dream Table Tennis, you can only carry up to 3 special move gauges at a time. So because of that though, once you're able to try to pull off the devastating special move, you can obviously able to actually knock out your opponent, and as a result you can able to actually drain your opponent's health. So either way, and also just like the regular fencing mode, obviously though is about the fact that we have to rely on the time limit as well. So because of that though, whilst unlike in the original fencing event, that's it's all about score based. So in here though, you have to deplete your opponent's health until you're able to actually decide to win. So either way though, yeah, that's as far as I can try to able to explain about that. So yeah, nothing else to add when it comes to the forms of Dream Fencing. Although as soon as we get to the final 4 Dream events to come, obviously though, things gets a lot more interesting, especially concerning for the fact that, like I said before, that if we get into the forms of the later circuits in this version of the game, we might consider trying to able to actually keep on unlocking some more Dream events coming up, especially concerning for the fact that I'm pretty sure we've actually gone to the halfway point in terms of showing off every single Dream events already on the DS version, because unlike the Wii version, there's only like 4 of them, whilst compared to the future games in the series, ranging from London 2012 and Vancouver 2010, as well as Sochi 2014, not so much Rio 2016, because the Dream event has been absent on that game, usually for both the Wii U and the 3DS version for some reason, because it's been replaced by dual variants for some events on the Wii U version, and alongside with the Plus variants on certain events on the 3DS version. So yeah, it's a little bit dumped down in Journey forms of the Rio 2016 department, whilst unlike in Tokyo 2020 on the Switch, obviously though, for some reason it contains 3 Dream events. So I was like, that's not enough, especially concerning for the fact that, well, I can possibly understand why that the actual series and onwards when it comes to Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games series now becomes a lot more stale at this point in time, especially concerning for the fact that, well, obviously though, we've seen the exact same events as before, but we did see some new ones for each and every single installment, potentially speaking, ranging from equestrian, as well as rugby sevens, skateboarding, surfing, and among all others. Even though it's a shame about the fact that there's no baseball sports, because that will be a huge potential for able to actually play a Mario baseball game on the actual Olympic theme or something like that, but that's besides the point. So unfortunately though, we've lost to Wario, because I was literally so close to finishing him off, but oh well, I'll take second place anyway, especially concerning for the fact that the good thing about this is though, I still managed able to use that particular second chance token from the very beginning of the circuit. So either way though, at least it doesn't seem to be bothering me as much. So anyway, so that pretty much does it for Sunlight Circuit, and it's also about the fact that we are basically done every single aspect in terms of advanced class. So it looks like we're about to be now moving on onto the third and the final class in the game. So as a result, we can able to expect to stumble across into Master's class. So either way though, expecting to believe about the fact that that particular circuit or class in mind will be extremely tough and difficult. So either way, so in addition to able to actually unlocking ourselves the next dream event, which this time would appears to be Dream Canoe, which is kind of interesting. In addition to that, like I said earlier, that Master's class has now been unlocked, and finally the Meteorite circuit has also been unlocked as well. So because of that, yeah, just like on the console version, obviously though when it comes to Master's class, we can able to stumble across into not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 circuits all in all. So because of that, yeah, we have to go for all 5 of those events, just like in the console version. So with that being said, folks, is that we get endings off this point right here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games DS version. That's what appears to be about the fact that we're about to get started with Master's class with Meteorite circuit. So either way though, wish me luck, especially computer players are gonna get tough. So I'll see you guys until tomorrow. Later, fellas.